Welcome back, everybody. James Bouligny here with Cover 1. I have my co-hosts here, Ryan Chadwick and Paul Harris. Guys, how are we doing?
Man,
Good, James.
we're almost there.
We are almost there. All right, I thought you were going to add more to that. My bad.
No, that's it.
But
5 Concho Valley teams in the playoffs.
that's something special right now.
Very
The state
special.
quarterfinals, 5 teams still alive from the Concho Valley. Super duper awesome. And let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about Wall and Idalou. Chadwick, you want to take this one real fast?
Yeah, man. At the time that this is being filmed, like here in about 30 minutes, I'm going to go interview Coach Slaughter. But this is a rematch. Wall defeated Idalou 35-21 earlier this season, of course, in a game that, I mean, Idalou was right there with them. It was 14-14 at halftime. Wall only led by 7 to head into the fourth quarter. I know Wall had a couple turnovers early, but Wall still had 400 yards of offense at the end of the day. But, I mean, Idalou hung tough. They beat Canadian last week. They're kind of on a run of their own. So, like, Paul and I were actually talking about this earlier. It's so hard to beat a team twice in the same season. And, I don't think that this game is going to be an easy one for the Hawks. Do I think that they're going to win? Yes, I do. Like, they are the ones that I'm picking for, state champion out of 3A Division II. But Idalou, like, they don't play around. They play excellent defense. They're very efficient with the football. They don't turn the football over much. And as someone who, like, if you beat a team like Canadian, like, you're already a good football team, right? And they didn't just beat Canadian. They handled Canadian. Canadian couldn't really do anything on offense for most of the ball game. And when you beat a historic program like that, you're doing something right. So I don't expect this game to be a blowout. I do expect Wall to win, and I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring than some people might think. Gladly, I don't think weather is going to affect this ball game. I think we should get out of all the weather out of here by then. But I don't know, Paul. What do you think, man? Like, Idalou brings a really good defense to the table.
Yeah, I saw Wall Idalou last year in Wall, and Wall won that game by 23, but Idalou forced 6 turnovers. And at the time, I just thought, man, Wall's being a little sloppy tonight. Maybe Idalou's defense is just that good, And like you said, they held Canadian in check until Canadian made a late run last week. But, I mean, they're the only team that's given Wall a game at all. Wall's won every game by, I think, 24 or more except for that Idalou game. So, I think, like you said, it's tough with the rematch, but, I mean, Wall does have it here in San Angelo Stadium. It's exciting. I think that there's a lot of fans that are going to pack that stadium, and so I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. Like you said, weather shouldn't hold anybody back. So, I mean, in San Angelo Stadium, we don't get a lot of games sometimes this late in the playoffs, So, I mean, I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and I think it's going to be a tough game, But I think Wall's favored as well, but I mean, they better be careful because they get off to a slow start against that Idalou defense. It could get a little scary.
To your point, the game's at San Angelo Stadium at 6 o'clock on Friday. We don't usually get these playoff games anything bigger than 2A at this point in the year. So, guys, I don't care if you're a Wall Hawk or not. If you have some time, go to the game on Friday. We need to pack that stadium. We need a raucous, loud home atmosphere for the Hawks. They have a great chance of winning state championship this year. And, man, I do think it's going to be an entertaining game, and it's going to be even more entertaining if that place is packed. Like, we haven't seen San Angelo Stadium completely packed to the gills since, 2014 for that Central Allen game?
Yeah, that was 2016.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, that was a legendary packed stadium.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Now, to your point, though, Wall beat Idalou 35-21. It was 14-14 till halftime. But since that Wall game, Idalou has not lost a game. And since that Wall game, they've been scoring 48 points a game. They've only been getting about 12. And, Chav, you said they handled Canadian last week. Or you said it was 24-17. They really didn't. I mean, it was a tight game.
Well, it was 17-3 until late in the third quarter,
But then 24-17. Canadian scared them there at the end. And then Wall, of course, I think they have the upper hand in this matchup. I think they won 4 games. I was only won 1 game. And they have some common opponents, too. They played Sweetwater, Great Creek, and Slayton. Idalou lost that Sweetwater game, start the season 44-22. Then they beat Great Creek and Slayton, and Wall won all those games. And also, don't forget, Wall was kind of sluggish there on offense when they played them the first time. They were having issues getting started in games. They got that figured out in district. So I think of course, Wall has this game pretty well because Idalou's given up 251 points all year, and it hasn't been until lately they start to earn on. I think Wall knows what they need to do, and they're going to get there and they're going to handle it.
Yeah, with that being said, James, I want to put it on record. I also wouldn't be surprised if Wall wins 42-7. I just want to put that out there. That's how confident I am in this team.
I have 49-28 in this one. Paul, you want to throw one down?
I think in my predictions file I'm going to put out here in a little while, I got Wall winning 31-21. A little more defensive, I guess.
All right. We're going to hear a quick word from Angelo and Mariah. We come back, we'll talk about Junction and Water Valley.
Have you ever needed an MRI? Do you know someone that needs an MRI? And did you know that you have a choice? When your doctor orders an MRI, tell them that you choose Angelo MRI. The founders of Angelo MRI started Angelo MRI when they faced the high cost of MRIs from traditional medical facilities. That's why Angelo MRI offers a better way, a high-quality MRI for just $5.95. And Angelo MRI accepts all insurance, saving you time and money. It's your health, your money, and your choice. Angelo MRI, 4114 South Jackson in San Angelo, or look them up at angelomri.com. Remember, when your doctor orders an MRI, tell them that you choose Angelo MRI.
All right, we got Junction and Shiner going on in Hutto. This is another really good game. I think it's going to be great. Junction beat Granger last week. The game, it was kind of misting all game long, and it was 7-0. Junction returned a kickoff at the beginning of the game. And then for the whole first quarter, it was just defense the entire time. Wasn't until the second quarter when Doyle hit Bierschwald down the middle of the field for a big game, and that kind of just started it. Junction got 2 touchdowns. They had O'Brien run one in, and Bierschwald had run one in. Defense had 3 interceptions out there. Great team win. Now they get Shiner. Shiner ended their season last year. They beat them 27-0 in the same round of the playoffs. Paul, you want to chip in here?
Yeah, well, I think Junction, even though it was the winningest season in program history last year until they've now topped that with their 13th win last week, but I just don't think they were ready for Shiner yet. I think this year they are ready. I honestly think they could pull off the upset. I really do. They've got the common opponent in Falls City, which Shiner only beat by 7, and Junction just walloped them both times. Yeah. And you saw them last week. You saw how good their offense is. That defense is just really underrated. We got a defense like Wall that's only allowed 6 points per game, but Junction's, I think they've only allowed 8 or 9 points per game this year. They've been outstanding.
They've only allowed 105 all season long.
Yeah, and so they've been wanting to get back to this matchup all year since Shiner entered their season last year. And no disrespect to Shiner, obviously, a 4-time state champion, but they've got a lot of name recognition. They've been number 1 all year. I don't know that they're as good as they were last year. I think Junction's better than they were last year. And I really think that Junction has the capability to pull off the upset.
Yeah, I will say, Max Preps has Junction number 2 and Shiner number 6. And kind of looking at them, they haven't played very often. I think Shiner was big 2A at one point, or Junction was big 2A at one point, so they haven't really been able to, maybe they haven't been able to match up. So it's 1-1 right now as far as the overall record between them. But Junction, they've scored 550 points, or 555 points, given up 105. Shiner has scored 584 points, given up 146. They're pretty evenly matched there. Shiner found a new quarterback. They have tons of playoff experience, and they like to run the ball a lot. I feel like they like to, just from what I've seen, they like to run the ball. Junction's, that defense is going to have to step up and really, stand out in this game. It's got to be, it's time. You got to dial in. You got to be dialed in. And Coach Freeman last week said, this is what we've been wanting Shiner. We want to get back at him. We want revenge here. So I'm excited for this one. It's going to be in Hutto on Friday at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a great game. I'm really excited for this one. And then let's talk about Water Valley and Rankin. That's the other game that's being played here in San Angelo on Saturday. Water Valley beat Robert Lee last week. Not just, playoff opponent, district opponent. Probably 2 of the best 6-man programs out in the state right now. And Water Valley with Trey Cisco, they are just, I don't know if anybody wants to meet them in the playoffs. What do you think?
Gordon.
I wouldn't give you to Gordon just yet, man.
Yeah, if Water Valley and Gordon play, that's going to be absolutely epic. But, I think, we've been looking forward to the Water Valley Robert Lee game last week, and it was a great game. I mean, it wasn't until that goal line stand late in the third quarter that really turned the momentum, and Water Valley was able to pull away. The score wasn't indicative of how close that game was. But I think it's easy. You look at it, you're like, oh, cool, okay, Rankin. That they 45 them earlier this year. That's going to be an easy game for Water Valley. But I would say, Rankin lost to Borden County by 30 earlier this year. Then they beat them in the playoffs. Then they took out Whiteface last week, which was a state finalist, and ended Water Valley's season last year. So, I would not write off Rankin like we were talking about with Wall and Idalou. Rematches are tough. Rankin is playing way better than they were earlier in the year. So, I mean, it's by no means do I think that Water Valley is going to 45 them again. I think it's going to be a tougher game. I also think, though, man, I was so impressed by Water Valley last week. They just had talent all over the place. And like we've said, Coach Cisco, you can't say enough about a guy that's won a state title before with another team. So if Water Valley does get past Rankin, I think it's the last team that Gordon wants to see. As good as Gordon is, this is one team that actually could possibly hang with Gordon.
Well, and hats off to Rankin, though. Like, right? I personally, in no shade to them at all, I didn't expect them to make it all the way to the state semifinal. And say what you want about region matchups and whatnot, but Rankin showed up and they won the games they needed to, and now they have an opportunity for a ticket to Jerry World. I know you got to go against Water Valley. It's going to be tough, but just want to put that out there.
Right, they've taken down two top 10 teams in the playoffs already, so I mean they can play.
And I will say Rankin has not lost since that Water Valley loss.
Right.
They have been winning. They are on a 7-game winning streak right now, and
the parallels with Idalou, man. Paul was right.
They've scored 100 less points. Rankin has, and they've given up 100 more points than Water Valley. But yeah, this Water Valley team, you can't, like I even said it in the preview. You can, I know Gordon is the big bad, wolf hanging out, but you cannot look past Water Valley or Rankin right now. Water Valley has to be focused, and Trey Cisco will have his team ready to go. I'm confident in him as a coach, because just as much as you don't want to meet Landon Lacey and Boston Weiss and Branson Lacey and Hayden Colster and Cade Manley and Rhett Dickinson, I know I just named pretty much their entire roster.
Yeah, you did.
You do not want to meet Trey Cisco, though. He is, what is he? Between Water Valley and Sterling City, he's got almost 20 years coaching. That's took him to state, took Sterling City to state. It's going to be a really good one, and I'm excited for Water Valley, the community, too. All right. We're going to hear a quick word from Shelburne Financial. When we come back, we'll talk about Richland Springs and Mason. At Shelburne Financial, you are more than just a number. They will help you plan for retirement, prepare tax documents, and more. Whether you're looking to grow your savings or plan for your future, the experienced team at Shelburne Financial is here to help you and guide you every step of the way. Give them a call at 944-9447 or head over to 3177 Executive Drive and invest in your future. We have two more teams in the Concho Valley still in it that we haven't talked about yet. Richland Springs versus Strawn and Mason versus Refugio. Paul, let's talk about Richland Springs and Strawn real fast.
Yeah, I mean, so
this is another one. This is another one that's going to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about six-man dynasty, six-man teams, I mean, these are the two of the most storied programs there are. There's 14 state titles between them, 9 for Richland Springs, 5 for Strawn. They've had a lot of great playoff meetings over the years. And because, I mean, some of those state titles, they've had to go through each other on the way, And then in terms of head coaches, these are two of the best six-man minds in Texas, period.
Right.
Dwayne Lee for Strawn, he's overseen all 5 of their state titles. Harley Etheridge, he was the offensive coordinator for Richland Springs in their heyday when they first started winning those state titles with his son, Tyler. And, now he took Follette to a state final as well back in 2012 when they lost to Richland Springs. And so now he's the head coach there. I mean, you're not going to find a better coaching matchup in six-man football, really. So I mean, it's awesome. Their only losses this year, they both lost to Gordon.
They both lost to Gordon.
That's it.
Their other common opponent, Zephyr, they both beat Zephyr, and yeah, Gordon that's just who they are. But like you said, Dwayne Lee is a really good coach. I don't know if y'all watched the CBS show Six Man, talking about six-man football. They followed Strawn for a couple years, and you've kind of got to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't normally get to see, like you do with Hard Knocks and all that stuff. It was really well-shot program, and he almost left at one point. He was going to a Kia, I thought, at one point, and then he decided to stay at Strawn, and good on him, man. They're playing in Stephenville on Saturday, I think, at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a good one. And Richland Springs, like I said, after that Gordon loss, they 45 May the next week. And May is a bigger, in the bigger classification for 1A. They're in D1. It's really exciting for both these programs. Billy Perry, can't say enough about him. Cohen Etheridge, too. He's a playmaker for them. And then Evan Deeds is another one out there for. They are loaded there in Richland Springs.
Question, though, are they going to have enough juice to get past Jayton?
I don't know. And again, now Jayton is number 1. They've got number 2 Klondike. So either way, they're going to have a tough matchup, I mean, Jayton's kind of the Gordon of...
Defending champion for the small school. 2-time defending champion, right?
Right.
Yeah, no. I mean, that'll be the state game, though.
But, yeah, I think these teams are really evenly matched, too. I mean, I think this has a chance to be, one of the better games in the state this week, just with the pedigree. And just it seems like they're pretty evenly matched, look at the results. So... And I'm pretty pumped to see how this one goes. And it's been a while since Richland Springs has made it to the state final. It's been a few years. I mean, by their standards, they're in a bit of a drought. I mean, they're always there.
All right.
But I know it's for them, it's state or bust every single year.
State or bust. I was just about to say that. That's a pretty good segue into our next 2 schools, Mason and Refugio. They play Thursday night at San Antonio Heroes Stadium, and Mason had a really cold start to the season. They were 1-3. The only team they beat was Coleman. They lost to Wall, Brady, and Junction. And after that, they haven't lost. They're winning all these games, and they really figured it out. New coach Wade Griffin, McLeod was left or was let go. Whatever happened there, but brought in Weimer, athletic director, head coach, and Griffin. And they kind of had a new team, too. I have it here how many starters they... Let me see if I can find it real fast.
Well, I know they graduated, their entire offensive line. They graduated both those good running backs, half their defense, So, we knew that Mason was going to take a serious step back this year. But then when McLeod left, they get a new coach who implements a new offensive system. They're not running the read option anymore. They're not, or the triple option, I guess. And they switched to the spread, kind of like Wall did last year, and we knew there was going to be a little bit of a learning curve, and especially when you're reloading in so many areas. It's understandable that they took a while to get off the ground. I didn't think that they turned around as much as they did, but they rattled off 6 straight to end the year in the regular season, and then of course they've this is 4th round of the playoffs now, and they're still in it. Yeah, unfortunately, they run up against Refugio. I don't know how that's going to go for them. Refugio is a very talented team. Another one of those, state perennial powerhouses that is in a bit of a state drought right now, just like Richland Springs is. But I don't know. I'm excited for this one. I want Mason to keep it close. I don't know if they have the juice to win it this year, though.
Yeah, Mason returned 2 on offense, 2 on defense. But Refugio, they only returned 5 on offense, 5 on defense. And... they have a quarterback and a running back. Ray Lewis is their quarterback. I realize that's also a former linebacker in the NFL. And their running back, Xander Wills, they have over 2,700 yards and 47 touchdowns just between them. Their defense is pretty stingy, too. They've only given up 120 points all year. It's going to be a good one, but I'm kind of with y'all. I think Mason just... if we can call it a rebuild, certainly what they're in, I don't know if they have enough to get over Refugio this season. But that kind of ends our 5 schools. We come back, we'll kind of go through the entire state quarterfinal roundup. Let's hear a quick word from Kicking Cuts, and we come back, we'll get into that. Looking for a fresh cut without breaking the bank? Well, Kicking Cuts is now open at 4238 Sherwood Way. Haircuts start at $19 for kids and $22 for adults. They offer hot towels, beard detailings, multiple discounts, and they also sell hard-to-find hair care products. Kicking Cuts is locally owned, and they're ready to get you looking sharp at an affordable price. Kicking Cuts, located at 4238 Sherwood Way in San Angelo. All right, we're going to read through the whole schedule real fast. It's not going to take very long. Gordon and Union Hill, they play. Jayton and Klondike play. Stratford and Groover That's we're in the 2A D2 right now. Lindsay and Munster, that should be a really good one. Munster won state last year. Bremen and Mount Enterprise. Mount Enterprise has a running back that's got 3,800 yards and 61 touchdowns. His name's Keegan Ash. Monster. And then into 2A D1, West Texas and Cisco. Cisco's been playing really good football. West Texas has a running back, Cade Winters. He had 599 yards in one game this season. Like, he almost broke that record. Playing really well. Hamilton, Axtell, Joaquin, San Augustine, and then into some 3A D2. Leonard versus Gunter. You want to talk about Gunter real fast in their game against Henrietta?
I don't think that ref will be reffing too many games after this one. That was incredibly inappropriate on his part.
Yeah,
a bit of a weird game anyway.
I'll get to it. He told a player to shut the F up and then called him a little bitch. You can't do that as a ref. You can't do that as a ref.
Calling a 16-year-old.
UIL is investigating it. Chadwick, you said the penalties were way off.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it was a weird game. Anyway, you could tell the crowd wasn't happy on either side. Like, I get the tempers were high for the refs. The players were frustrated. But, I mean, keep your composure, man. Like, come on.
You can't insert yourself into the game like that this late in the playoffs. I mean, you can't do it regardless. But certainly this late in the playoffs, the UIL is investigating it. They've suspended the whole crew. A Gunter player, I saw him swipe one of the Henrietta towels off, and I guess the play that kind of started all this was a receiver was defensive back were blocking. The Henrietta player ended up with his helmet off, and that kind of started a little scrum, and it just escalated from there. Into the next game, ARP and Newton, and then Tidehaven. They're the number one ranked 3A D2. Number one. We don't know anything about them. They played East Bernard. And then Peaster and Paradise. I'm excited this gets at Peaster. A couple years ago, Coach Guy said Peaster's on their way.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the newer programs out there. And Paradise, good on them. They're playing really good football. Pottsboro and Grandview, and then Yoakum and Columbus. Paul, take over.
All right, so I guess we're moving into 3A D1 now. Is that right? Or okay, so we got Lano and Edna. Is that right? Or are we in 4A D2? Okay,
no,
so
Lano and Edna is D1.
Yeah, he missed one. That's the last 3A D1. That's 4A D2.
Keep it even throughout.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Well, so Lano, not necessarily a area school, but on the edge. They're there when you drive through.
Congratulations,
Austin.
though. They're playing really good down there.
Yeah. So good for them. And then West Texas School, Midland Greenwood, good for them, still alive, though that may end versus Brock. Should be a great game, though.
The fact that Brock is playing at a high level after moving up just a year and a half ago or whatever, and I mean, congrats to Greenwood, man. Like, the Rangers have really come
They're
along.
both undefeated.
Yeah.
Then we got the East Texas battles here. Athens versus Carthage.
Carthage is winning the state championship.
We got Cuero versus Sinton. West Orange Stark versus Waco La Vega. And then we got West Plains versus Stephenville, another school kind of in our neck of the woods. Stephenville, we all know how great they are.
We're growing out that way.
Alvarado versus Salina. Kilgore versus Fort Bend Crawford. Wasn't even aware of Fort Bend Crawford's existence, to be honest.
They were not in our system. I had to add them.
We got San Antonio Davenport versus Lavernia, and then Melissa versus Argyle. And some other big dogs here. South Oak Cliff versus Port Neches Grove.
Which is crazy that they're meeting at this point. Like, those are two state caliber teams.
Yeah, just the way Texas is, sometimes you get these kind of matchups. You got Richmond Randall versus Iowa Colony. Bernie versus Alamo Heights, and then Denton Ryan versus Aledo. That's a pretty big name matchup.
All right, Chadwick, take over.
Okay, we got Frisco Lone Star versus Highland Park. It's one of 10 Frisco high schools up there. Port Arthur Memorial versus Barbers Hill. Smithson Valley versus New Braunfels. Love their mascot, by the way. I think it's very unique, the unicorns.
The unicorns, yeah.
Yep. And then, of course, we got into the 6A, we got Denton Guyer versus South Lake Carroll. I don't care how good Denton Guyer this year is. That game against Central, South Lake Carroll is one of the best high school football teams I've ever seen.
And they're number 7 in the nation.
Yeah, and that's including the past teams I've seen from DeSoto and Duncanville and last year's North Crowley. Like, I'm just saying, that one should be a really good one. DeSoto versus Willis. Again, DeSoto kind of rebuilt. They're back in it. Humble Summer Creek versus Sheldon King. It's that really, really weak Region 3 or 4. I don't know, whatever Houston is. Like Humboldt Summer Creek has been to the state finals several times just to get shelled by DFW. I don't see that changing. North Crowley versus Allen, there it is. Like that should be a marquee matchup right there. Duncanville versus Waxahachie. Did I say that right?
The Waxahachie?
Waxahachie,
Yeah. But anyway, I favor Duncanville in that one. And then, of course, finally back in the state mix is Galena Park North Shore versus Dickinson and San Antonio Johnson versus Lake Travis.
All right. We're going to get a quick word from the ArcLight. We come back, we'll talk about Texas Tech. Catch all the collegiate and pro football action at the ArcLight Bar and Grill, located at 441 Rio Concho Drive, inside the Clarion Hotel in downtown San Angelo. Chadwick, Tech is playing BYU in the Big 12 Championship. Talk about it.
I'm going to be there. So first off, that's going to be cool. I'm going to try to get a couple highlights. I won't be able to go down there till the fourth quarter, but I'm still going to be at AT&T Stadium this weekend. This is a rematch of the first matchup that was played in Lubbock a couple weeks ago. Texas Tech waxed BYU. They couldn't do anything offensively. BYU didn't score until 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter when all the Tech backups were in. The only thing that Tech needs to be wary of, last time they played BYU, they kicked 6 field goals. You can't do that and beat good teams again. Since then, they have improved in the red zone. They've been scoring touchdowns. I think they've only had to kick 2 field goals since. Completely destroyed West Virginia last week to secure a spot in the Big 12 Championship. But, man, Joey McGuire was just rewarded for his amazing season with a new contract extension. He's going to be in Lubbock for at least another 7 years. I do think that if Tech wins this one, they secure a bye in the college football playoff. As the last playoff selections show last night or Tuesday night, this is being filmed on a Wednesday, they were ranked number 4 in the nation. And to be honest, whoever wins this Georgia-Alabama SEC championship game, Tech might get as high as number 3 if they beat BYU. BYU's playoff hopes completely are tied to this game. So they are going to be coming with everything that they have. And as we were talking about with Wall Idalou, no one wants to play the same team twice. It's one of those, BYU knows what they did wrong against Tech at this point. They're going to have a better game plan, but at the same time, I think Tech also knows what they need to do to get in the end zone this time around. I still think Tech should be a bigger favorite than they were last time. I think they were 9-point favorites this time, or last time, and I think they're 17-point favorites this time. I picked Tech in this one. Unfortunately, A&M couldn't get it done against the Longhorns, so they lost their chance to be in an SEC championship game, but they're still in the playoff. Texas is still on the outside looking in. But like I said, some of these final dominoes might fall, and we might get all 3 of our big Texas schools. And then North Texas, we might get North Texas in the playoff.
All right.
But yeah, that game's on Saturday at 11.
All right. Final thoughts. I'm really excited for Junction and Shiner. I think that Junction defense is so good. They just suffocate offenses. Gives that offense a little more room to be aggressive. And they were really aggressive against Granger. I think Scott Freeman, he says he's an Oregon fan. I think that kind of influences his offense a little bit. I'm excited for that game. I really think Junction can beat Shiner this year. Paul, final thought.
I guess just a nod to maybe the best Concho Valley season that I can remember from covering
last 10
sports.
years, easy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been covering sports here since '98, and I cannot recall this many teams here this late. Not to mention our city schools, Central and Lakeview, both having winning seasons. Both having great seasons. So it's been really real treat for the Concho Valley, and then just specifically for Tom Green County, we haven't had a state title since 1966. Wall and Water Valley both have a great chance to get that done this year. They could end that drought. So let's cross our fingers. One or both of them gets it done.
All right, Chadwick.
I'm giving you my actual score prediction. I don't know what the final is going to be, but I'm going to say Wall by 21. I think this team is the best team Wall's ever seen. They've never had a quarterback like Landon York. They never had the skill positions to complement that. I know Coach Slaughter is going to have his defensive guys ready to play. Slayton did run the ball well against them last year, so I need that defensive line to step up. But guys, you were this close to that rematch with Gunter, and it's a home game. Enjoy it. This is an experience that few high school kids will ever get to experience. So just keep that ball rolling all the way to Jerry World.
Yep. And to you, San Angelo, go on out and support the Wall Hawks. It's right here at San Angelo Stadium. Saturday, go watch a great 6-man matchup between Water Valley and Rankin. This is probably the last bit of football, high school football we're going to have in the Concho Valley. So go out and watch these kids play, man. I mean, Water Valley, they're Landon Lacey's a stand-up, kid. He's a tremendous kid. All of them are. And Wall, they are tremendous kids too. Go out and support them. And if you want to go to Stephenville or Hutto, go support those kids as well. But for Cover 1, I'm James Bouligny. Got my co-host, Ryan Chadwick.